Actually, I wanted to talk to you. Actually, I'm glad that you did because I wanted to talk to you about your post this morning. Did you see I commented on it?
No, I didn't. What was the
Yeah, because you have told me this lesson like 1,000 times about like write things down, Sarah, write things down. No, write things down.
Oh yeah, yeah, write things down, write things down. Yep.
And I think what the click moment for me was when I was so I called him on. This is like the best story ever. I'm on. I called him our brother. I called him on. I know you know who it is, but for
I know
everybody,
other people. So we called our brother.
I called my brother and our brother, and I said, I just got this new iMac, and it keeps telling me it's out of memory. Like, what is going on? It's brand new.
You just bought it.
Exactly. I'm like, I just bought it. I'm like, what is happening? So he's like, oh, that's weird. He's like, okay, well, let's troubleshoot together. He's all calm. He's like, do this, open that, open this, right? And so we're going through stuff. He goes, Sarah, he said, first of all, did you restart?
How long has it been since you restarted?
I just restarted yesterday because we lost power. But anyway,
Yeah, but for the first time since you bought the computer?
So, well, when Aman told me to. So I bought the computer. I'm using it every single day, right back to back. So Aman's like, when was the last time we restarted it? And I'm like, fine. But he goes, Sarah, if you look, you have so much junk using background memory that you're not, he's like, are you using this right now? I said, no. He's like, when was the last time you used it? I'm like, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. He's like, why is it still open, eating up all of your memory? And when I read your post this morning, it reminded me of that because I'm like, it's so true that like when you don't write something down, you are forcing your brain, you're telling your brain it is not safe to let go of this information.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hold on to this for dear life because if you don't, you're going to forget it. Well, simple solution, write it down, right? Like what you said in your post this morning and in your podcast, because it's like when you write it down, you give your subconscious mind permission to stop thinking about it. And you know that it's safe in your notebook or whatever Asana or whatever system you use to track your thoughts, but your brain is now given permission to let go. And I think it's amazing how much more efficiently, like just as our computers run more efficiently with more speed and accuracy when we don't clutter it up with like wasted systems and softwares that are running in the background, the same is true for our mind. So I love that post that you did this morning.
But sister, like, here's the thing, and I gotta ask, right? Because like everyone I've ever worked with has the same response. Like I have 300 tabs open, and a lot of it's just like this is just how I am, or like I just need these tabs open. And it's like, well, so now I'm asking you, right? Because I go through, because I know what this does, I will actually periodically in the day go through all my browsers, close out open tabs, close out open
like
windows.
palpitations.
Like I just close everything. I only have what I need open at any given time. And of course, over the course of like, a few hours, you'll open up more things, but then I will go through that house. It only takes me a few seconds to do. But like, I know that makes me more efficient and more effective. Right now, you just told me this. So that having all these tabs is ineffective. You know that having all these apps open is ineffective, right? So I'm curious, what goes through your mind, like, because I know that it sounds like I'm taking away your children, right? So like I'm like, Saira, close down your tabs. What are you saying?
Like, no, I'm not doing
it. Foul creature.
Yeah, I'm in a vampire story all of a sudden.
Yeah, so like I'm curious, like, what is it that you think is gonna happen? Like if you close these down?
So now actually I've abandoned that. So I will say that now my tabs are very clean. I only have 2 or 3 open. I know, unless I'm working in something where, like, for example, some of the projects I work on, you're doing entries in several different screens. So you do have like 10 tabs open as you work through, but they're very purposeful, right? It's not that they're open because I'm panicking that if I close it, I'm going to forget. It's because there's some practical business reason why I'm accessing those 10 tabs in that span of time. But when I'm done, they all get closed. I think that the reason I used to struggle with that so much before is number one, because it's that terror that you're going to forget something, that you're going to forget the URL.
Yeah. Okay. That's like, I need this for something and I have it open for a reason and I can't forget. So Hornet, by the way, because you're like, I can't forget that thing. Okay.
Exactly. Those solution, right? Bookmark. There is a thing called bookmarks that you can use. That's very powerful. There's also another thing. If you forget to bookmark, there's something called history. And you can go into your browser history and you can see for yourself where you were. So I think that the first thing I really had to understand was that I was not going to fall off the edge of the earth into the great abyss if I closed a tab. And I know that sounds so like, well, obviously, but I think that when we go back, and we talked about this yesterday in our other group, when we really think about how the human mind processes information and we go back to our primal brains, I love going back to the primal brain because it explains like everything. And you think about this concept of, if I leave my den, a saber-toothed tiger is going to eat me. Because the den, and in our 2023 world, our den is the way we do things.
Yeah.
Our den is our habits. Our den is our processes that we've become accustomed to. So I think that when our primal brain sees something that falls outside of habit or falls outside of what we're used to,
yeah,
we freak out, right? There's an entire subconscious algorithm that processes in our own mind that says, panic, 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 stop, stop, stop. Don't you dare close that browser. You're going to fall off into the edge of the earth.
Because that browser is what contains the thing that's going to actually keep you from becoming starving and becoming homeless, and like all of the things that, like, is that one tab, right? And
yes.
like, I
or
think
the snack for the saber-tooth tiger. Yes.
And each tab is like its own microcosm of that. So it's not like, you know, one tab,
exactly.
okay, I'll just keep that tab open. It's like each and every tab is on its, you take it on its face value individually, has that. So that makes a lot of sense, because I'll tell you, like, I obviously used to struggle with that too, but it's so much. And I think that, like, for so many years I said, I'm just more efficient that way, I'm more effective that way. And it's like, it's just a story that I told, because now
it totally is.
When we talk about clocking out, like, there's a reason that I can clock out. There's and it's
exactly.
not because I have less work or because I am so disciplined. I mean, I am more disciplined than I used to be, but I'm still not that disciplined. It's actually because the processes and systems that I put in place support shorter hours in the day, because there's not so much clutter, right? Like, so much clutter is in those.
Well, and it also gives you freedom to truly rest. And I think that every single study, right? I don't think, you know, if you point me to a single study that contradicts this, I'm just going to say, like,
the study is wrong. It's totally
wrong. I am right. The study's wrong. Is that downtime and rest is important for our minds.
Yeah.
We need regeneration time. We need time to, like, heal ourselves. And that's why we sleep, right? Our bodies need time to rest. We need time to heal from all the things that are going on all the time. And in fact, I read an article just yesterday about the 8 things that a person
I was just about to bring that up, the CNN article,
right?
that I'll put, the one where it will keep your life longer, that you can add years to your life.
And one of them is, you really need a good sleep cycle. If you set your brain up to be filled with all these hornets, like what you were talking about, which I love that description, because I think everybody has been in a situation where there's a hornet and then there's another one, then there's suddenly another one, and they're everywhere, and you feel trapped, and they're making you panic, and you're freaking out, you're going to get stung. The sound drives you crazy. Like, it does elicit a feeling of you're not safe, you know? And I think we don't realize in our professional life that the more we don't document what we're doing, the more we don't create systems to support us in what we're doing and track our projects, we're just out there on a tightrope balancing while all these things are flying at us all the time. And we're not giving ourselves the tools that are available so that we feel steady. And I think when we feel steady, we feel secure. When we feel secure, we can rest. And I think when we rest, we're do better. We're more creative. We're more productive. We're better to be around. We're happier. We're more joy. It affects every single fiber of the matrix that we're living in. So I really think it cannot be, you can't emphasize it more, how critical of a life habit it is to write it down. And then, because then you can check out, because you know that life raft is there. It's like leaving yourself the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumbs, you know, that if you leave the den you're in now, the habits you're in now, and you drop these breadcrumbs along the way, worst case scenario, you come face to face with the saber-tooth tiger, you know your way back, right? You're not gonna be lost. And I think that's the big thing that people need to understand, is that whenever you embark on a new habit or a new process, new routine, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna be scary. Saber-tooth tiger is out there, you know, but you can make it safe for yourself to try new things. Because if we don't try new things, right, we would still be living in the cave, afraid of the saber-tooth tiger, right? We would have made no progress as a civilization. We'd still be there.